welcome to today's Booked. This is your host, Chelle. This is our first book episode. I'm so excited, doing Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros with a special guest that I mentioned on the last episode, my fantasy romance obsessed friend, Whitley.
That's me.
Whitley, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me. It's such a special day because I've never been on a podcast before. So this is a first and I'm loving it.
Welcome. I'm glad to break your podcast cherry.
Cherry.
Yeah. And happy Mother's Day.
That my little child is taking a nice little nap. So we're taking advantage.
Yes. Fourth Wing is going to be done in two parts. So this is going to be part one. Part two will come out the following Monday, which I believe is the May 20th. And Whitley will be back for that episode as well. And also this episode is going to have spoilers. So if you have not read Fourth Wing and you want to read it, don't listen to this podcast. Wait until you've finished the book. But hopefully you have read along and are ready to dive in. So this part one is going to be on chapters 1 through 22, the first half of the book. Part two will be chapters 23 through 39. Let's take it back because you are my childhood friend. We grew up together. Wait, we met in 7th grade.
Apopka. Shout out to Apopka Middle School.
Okay, nobody needs to know where we grew up. I don't need anybody searching for us.
Why? We don't live there anymore.
True. But we don't need anybody going in the archives, okay?
Okay.
Yes, we met in 7th grade. I don't know how.
And
wait, did we meet on the bus? Because we lived in the same neighborhood.
no, but remember there was 2 buses because Arrow was huge.
Yeah.
We met in one of our classes. Science rings a bell, but I feel like that's also could be completely wrong.
I don't remember. That was
Way
50
too long
years
ago.
But
really?
Yeah. Feels like it.
If my college was 10 years ago, then yes. Middle school was 50 years ago.
Yes. So we met a long time ago. We lived in the same neighborhood. Whitley literally drove me to high school because she was the first one to get her license in her group and get a car.
So we were in our jam sessions every morning. Getting lit.
With Lil Wayne.
I feel like Soulja Boy too. What was hop up out of bed?
Put my swag on in a milli.
We were the dopest playlist car, however you want to say it, out there.
We had the jams.
We were the HB4 Hot Bitches 4. Shout out.
That was our name, our group name. What did we start that in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a play off of our other friend group. They called themselves the Fuglies. So we were like, we need something to call us. And we're like, we're all hot. So we're
and
the
we're
hot
bitches. And there's 4 of us.
But we weren't like mean girl bitches. We were just like the bitches.
Fun.
Yeah, fun bitches.
Party, fun bitches, the life of the party. Let's be honest.
This podcast literally took a turn because I was like, okay, this is going to be a wholesome podcast. No cussing. And, things just took a turn. So I'm sorry. This is going to.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be bleeping that out because Whitley, she is a cursor.
I live my life to the fullest and I let everybody know it.
You do you, girl. Yes. So we're the HB4. The other 2, they're not really, I would say Bailey reads. Kaylee occasionally, but
they make fun of us.
Yeah.
They not at the book level we are. They can.
Really aren't.
If they don't listen to this podcast, though, out. HB2 will be.
Yes. Oops. Sorry if you're listening. Just kidding.
Sorry, not sorry.
True. So we've just come a long way in this friendship from middle school to high school. We separated in college. You went to FAU. I went to FSU.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
And here we are halfway across the country.
Right.
Still friends.
Love to see it. So let's learn a little bit about Whitley before we dive into the Fourth Wing. So Whitley, what have you been booked with this week? How is your booked life?
Okay, so work as we know it, full-time work. And as I mentioned earlier, my little daughter, so I'm a mom of 1 currently, 22-month-old, and her name is Peyton. She's that girl.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that. And
from the clothes to the shoes to the tube.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, it
to
all.
the
It's just
face.
like she's got to have the good style like me. I can't let her be looking frumpy. She is gonna be a future HB
5.
5.
Yep.
Yep.
Because you're the only one in the group that has a child
Currently doesn't
currently.
mean it's not gonna happen.
I'm going to have
Hey.
to buy sperm at this point.
I mean,
Hopefully
I'll
not.
do.
God.
It's okay because then they can play together. It'll be
God, if
great.
you're
Any
listening,
hit
send
me
a
up with a
man.
hottie.
Yeah. Please.
But listen to this. Did I tell you about Milo?
No. What happened to Milo?
So in the beginning of this week, for people who don't know me, which I'm sure most of these people won't, I have 4 animals. Actually, I had 5, and
She
recently
has a barn.
I have.
She doesn't really, but
I wish.
you have a lot of animals.
I have a lot of animals, and I recently lost Cosmo. My first one I actually got in college. He was 12. Shut up to
R.I.P. Cosmo.
I know. But I have 2 cats, 2 dogs, and my one cat, Milo, who is obese, fluffy, white. He's that boy that's
He's
a little
that cat.
thick. He's that thick boy, but he's great. Anyways, he's an indoor cat. Decided to go outside with me. I let him outside with Peyton and I and the pups. I think it was Monday, to like chirp with the birds. You know how they do. And his little fat ass ate a toxic plant that I didn't know was toxic until he started eating it, and then shivering, panting, throwing up. So had to rush him. To get childcare. My mother-in-law came over. Then I had to go rush him to the emergency vet. And then we get there, cool, calm, and collected, like a little cucumber, chilling, showing everybody how gorgeous he is. $400 later, he was fine, sent home with nothing but a smile and a kiss.
Oh my God, Milo, the dramatics.
The dramatics of my life, my basic dramatic life, let's be honest.
That is hilarious. Milo, shout out to you.
God bless.
I'm glad you're doing well. Not him literally drooling, acting like he's about to
Being
die.
on my couch, peed on my couch, incontinence, lost it. And so if anybody knows cat pee is not easy to get out.
Ew,
So
I can smell it from here. No, I'm just kidding.
But okay, it's gone. I am definitely a clean freak, so it's out. I sniff that thing so much, so it is gone.
Okay, so what else have you been booked with? You've been booked with working, being a full-time mom, a full-time corporate girly, dealing with your cat eating toxic plants. What else is happening over there in Whitley's household in Raleigh?
Actually, I've been trying to find a good book club near me. I'm not booked with it yet, but I want to be. But I just need a good vibe book club, and it's hard.
Yeah, book clubs are hard.
Have you heard of a silent book club?
No, what's that? Where you just meet and read and don't talk to each other?
Basically, like you meet, you talk, apparently, and then but you bring your own book. Like you bring whatever you're reading. It's not like what is in the book club. I know. So I was really excited about it. Told my other friends and Jesse, my husband, and they laughed at me. Thought it was the funniest thing ever. And they're like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Well, hello, girlfriend.
Why
girls
not?
need friends.
Yeah.
Like it. People like books. I like books." So, anyways, there's one by me. So I actually forgot. I was supposed to go on Tuesday, and I forgot about it. And then I got out.
Dedication.
And then I got out of my shower, and I was like, "Wait, I'm supposed to be at my book club." So
maybe next week.
It only happens once a month, so we're trying June. I know I fucked up.
Yeah, you did.
It's okay.
They dropped the ball.
They have other ones that I have to buy the book, which is fine, and read. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That'll be fun. Oh, I want the silent book club. That sounds fun. I could get into that. Okay, let's dive into some other questions. So, who's your favorite author?
I can't have a favorite author because I'm a phase type of reader, right? So if I read, currently, obviously, I am in my romance fantasy phase because I read Fourth Wing, and then I read Iron Flame, obviously, and then I'm in Sarah J. Maas's like multiverse, and she's an amazing author. So I am in that like rabbit hole, I guess. But I don't know, because who's that author that maybe at the lake or every summer at the lake? What is it called?
Carly Fortune.
Yes. So I had a phase of her. I read that book because my friend gifted it to me, and I read that. But then I read like 7 of her books or something like that. I went through my Colleen Hoover phase, Jodi Picoult phase, Tessa Bailey phase. So it just depends on, the phase of
Yeah.
my vibe. So I can't say I have a favorite, but like in my life, like I know I had like a Jodi Picoult was my person. Then
Mm-hmm.
I had
Sarah,
Colleen Hoover.
yeah.
And now Sarah J. Maas is my girl. Rebecca Yarros too, but she only has 2 books like for this, and I'm just waiting for the third to get into that
Wait,
too.
so
But
Rebecca only has 2 actual books?
no. Okay, sorry. So
Oh no, wait, didn't I
this.
buy a Rebecca? Oh, I bought a Rebecca Yarros last night at Target.
Oh, good. I wonder if it's the one I bought. Okay, so listen, this is like what I learned about her. It's not the one I got, but that's probably great.
Okay.
So this is like my through the grapevine like information that I received. Her first book was a fantasy book, but it like didn't pop off. It got pulled. I don't know how it works in the book world. Then she's a military wife, like her husband's in the
Mm.
military, and so a lot of her books, her before Fourth Wing, are like military romance.
And then Red Tower Books picked her up for this. She like proposed her Imperium series book,
Mm.
and they were like, "You're it, let's go." And then here she is, freaking romance fantasy, like in it, like top dog right now, right there with Sarah J. Maas. So
They're doing
I
they're doing
did
their thing.
I did buy one of her books. I think it's Great and Precious Things is the one. Yeah, I think that's the one I bought because I follow her on Instagram and people seem to love it, and I'm all about trying out a good book that people love, you know?
Yeah. If you had to read one genre for the rest of the year, what are you reading?
Rest of the year, definitely fantasy because I'm in it.
Is this just like fantasy or fantasy romance? Does it have to have
Fantasy romance.
it
Yes,
has to
has
have
to
some
have a love, some of that
that
steamy
spice?
tension. Yeah, smut as they call it. Gotta have it.
Ooh, sign me up for a good smut book. I'm
Ugh.
there.
I did read one between Fourth Wing or like Iron Flame and Akatar,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah J. Maas. And it was because I needed like a dragon book, and it was like on Instagram. Someone said it was great, but it
Mm-hmm.
was not it. And I know it's a series. I could barely get through it. I was reading it when we were in Park City, and
Oh,
I didn't get the second one, and I'm not about it. Honestly, I
okay.
don't remember. I think it's called Fireborn or something. And it
Fire
just wasn't
porn?
born.
Oh, I was like, oh my God. What is
No,
happening
there was
there?
barely any romance. Like there kind of was, but I don't know. Maybe this. So you know how sometimes the second book of a series is better.
Yeah.
Like maybe if I'm in that mood, but I shouldn't have read it right after Iron Flame because that one's just like at the top notch, and I just went into that, and it just is
Didn't
not the
compare.
vibe for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I needed the all of it, and it just
Yeah.
didn't have it.
Didn't bring the
Sorry to say.
fire porn. It didn't.
No, I think I gave it a 3 stars, I am a high rater. Like I feel bad when I give ratings, and it was like a 3. Like I enjoyed it, but no, took me
Yeah.
a while. I finished it, we'll say that. Sometimes I don't finish books.
It's
Well,
hard for me to DNF a book. Like I will read it till the end because I just am like I've already put in the time, the work, the effort. I'm finishing
Yeah.
it. But I did read recently like if you don't like a book, you don't have to finish it. And I'm like, I know, but still I kind of do. But
There
the time
the
wasted, ugh, it
the
hurts.
one book that I thought was going to be great, that one that Oprah Winfrey that's like on all these top things. I couldn't finish it. It was just like
What
what the
book?
I gotta look at my Kindle. It just like I was like, where are we going? What are we doing with this? Like, where are we going from
Where are we
here?
going?
Like this, like come on, like I'm getting tired. Hello, Beautiful. Hello,
Hello,
Beautiful
beautiful.
by Napolitano.
Never heard of it.
Well,
Hello, beautiful.
it's a top book apparently, but honestly, wouldn't recommend.
I'll look
So
that up later.
didn't finish.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Whitley
Sorry.
did not finish Hello, Beautiful.
Sorry if you loved it. It just wasn't for me.
That's fine. I have another question. What are you currently obsessed with?
Okay, so as you know, but people who don't know me don't know, I recently got a built-in library, like
It's so dope.
from my dreams. I finally convinced my husband, let's do it. I have it in my office. It's like Whitley's Cave. We're in it to win it. And so I have been obsessed with filling it with books. And I am not, uh, I am not a OCD person about books, so I've been on thrift books. Hit up thrift books if you don't care about a used book. They are the place to get a deal. I have scouted used bookstores around me, $2 books. Like, we're about it.
She's on Facebook Marketplace. She is
Facebook Marketplace.
diving in the dumpsters.
I don't hate Facebook Marketplace, but I hate doing the whole meeting up. And like, not that I like doing it with the books, but like, I have never met up with somebody. I always make Jesse do it, but I will do it for a book. I have like gotten over 50 books. So that's a month of like over 50 books. Just bought 2 more last night because you got me on this freaking Amazon.
Sorry. I was at Target and the books were just screaming at me and I was like, oh, I've got to share this with Whitley.
Literally, and I bought 3 yesterday and then 2 the day before. So hopefully Jesse's not listening to this because he will mark me because they were all brand new. They were not used. So I didn't
not check the bank statements, Jesse.
Sorry, not sorry, but God bless. And he even tried to tell me that I wasn't going to be able to fill these shelves. I said, challenge accepted. Do you know me?
Right.
He doesn't know me.
And
he thinks he
knows
knows me, but
what else are you obsessed with? Anything else besides thrifting books, buying books?
I'm so sad because I'm on a book podcast. But anyways, always obsessed with makeup. So
yeah,
I'm about that. Trends, skincare. Like, let me look the best I can, and I need the compliments on my makeup. Tell me I did a good job. I'm just kidding.
No. Well, I'm always coming to you for everything.
I
makeup, skincare. I'm like, Whitley, do I need this? Should I get this? What is that thing that you have? I need it. Every time we go on a trip,
give me that
we're
link.
Always using Whitley's makeup.
But I'm about it. But it also, like, I need to start an Amazon storefront, like, when I'm allowed. But they don't let me because I just don't have a big, like, people don't follow me, and I don't share my makeup like that. But maybe I will. Maybe this will be my ticket to sharing my book and makeup life. Who knows?
Yes. Oh, we got to get you on Bookstagram. You got to start a Bookstagram. And
maybe I will.
Yeah, I feel
everybody. If I start one, follow me. Help me out. Then I'll just tell you all about my reads, my deals and steals.
Yes.
Yes.
Anything else you're obsessed with besides
my
books?
My cups. Everybody's on that Stanley trend. I am that basic girl. Got it. But I found a new one. The Brewmate era. If you don't know, you need to know it. Let me show you. You can close it and it doesn't spill.
I need that.
And you can open it. Obviously, you drink it, and like the straw is a silicone straw, but inside stainless steel. And I have a sage green 30 ounce and then like a purple, because I love purple, 40 ounce. And it is especially if you're a mom and your hands are not always yours. Yeah, like it's so great because like Peyton will pick it up, she'll drink it and like doesn't really spill even if it's open and like she tries to. So it's it. You need to buy it. Brewmate.com. Era. I know they have different styles or whatever you call them, but lines, yeah, collections, whatever. Yeah.
I definitely need to get that because I'm always spilling my water at tennis. It's always squirting out of my Sipple Modern for some reason, and I'm just like, are we about to fight? Because this is you're embarrassing me right now.
It's squirting at your face. Like, yes. Excuse me, that's not the vibe.
Not the vibe right now. I was not trying to be wet.
I'm wet with sweat, but that's all I needed. Thank you. So basically, like my sessions are lame. Cups, books, and makeup. But that's me.
That's so relatable, though. I feel like a lot of people like that stuff. I mean,
true.
Definitely. Well, I'm not much of a makeup. I love mascara. That's my favorite makeup, but you'll definitely catch me buying a book pretty much every day. Mm-hmm. I just bought eight at Target last night for the BOGO.
R.I.P.
Buy one, get one.
To your bank account.
Actually, I didn't spend that much, so I got.
How much?
Well, I got the $8, and then I also got 2 things of the protein shakes.
Oh yeah.
And I got a bracelet because it was 20% off. And I got 4 things of sparkling soda from the Good and Gather brand. Also, if you're listening, Target, bring back the raspberry hibiscus from Good and Gather sparkling water right now. I have one left in my fridge, and I just found out it was discontinued, so now I can never drink the one that I have left because they're probably never going to bring it back, and I'm really upset.
Look on Amazon. You probably purchase it for $50.
I probably should because
people trying to resell. Yes.
Because I should try and just sell that one little can
You should.
on eBay.
I'm what I
Going for
bet you there's
1,000.
somebody.
Nope.
I bet you somebody would buy it. So wait, you probably spent like what, $200 plus dollars?
No. I spent
Every time I go.
$143 and I got a gift card for spending money. So I was like, okay.
What the heck? Every time I go, I spend at least 200.
Okay,
But
last book question, and then we're gonna dive into Fourth Wing because we've been yapping.
yeah, yapping it up. I mean, do we expect anything else?
Probably not. Okay, so what are you currently reading?
Okay, so as I'm in my romance fantasy phase, we'll say, I'm currently reading the first book of the Crescent City series, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. And Sarah J. Maas, she's that bitch, and it is good. I'm like more than halfway through, and because it's a new start. Just finished Throne of Glass series, probably my top series from her so far. I love them all. I love Akatar. I love them all, but started Crescent City, and I was like, this is weird because you got to learn the vibe of the world, the fantasy world. So I'm like, okay, who's this? What's this? There's all these different like beings, I guess, like phase, half phase, veneers, all these things, wrath, angels, archangels. I'm like, what? But
That's what
I'm not
going
to say it for all the readers right now, but one of these angels is that angel. And I'm about it. He's like that Zayden. Let's go.
Oh, Zayden or Dane? Dane or Zayden? Ooh.
I mean, let's be honest. There's no competition.
Yeah. So I do have one last question. I lied about books. What is your book goal for the year? And are you behind? Are you ahead? What's happening over there on your Goodreads?
Okay, so listen to this. So I started it low this year. I started it in December at 12.
Okay.
Your girl's already read 23 books this year, so I had to up
round
it.
Of applause.
Let's go. And so I moved it, I think, in February to 30 because I was already ahead of schedule. So I moved it to 30, and I've already read 23 books of 30. So I'm 13 books ahead of schedule.
Wow. Okay, way to embarrass
We're
me
vibing.
on my own podcast. Because
I mean, this romance
take
fantasy
over?
phase.
I feel like
I
you
mean,
should
should I?
This is your podcast.
I have so
now.
many notes. I turn into a note-taking girl for books. I tab my books, highlight them now. Like, who am I?
Devil. You. Oh my God.
I used to
Whitley.
not, but now, like, Fourth Wing, definitely a contender to reread, and I'm not a rereader. The only book I've ever reread in my life was Harry Potter Number 7. Everybody loves Harry Potter, so don't come at me. Harry Potter is great. And I reread that book, and Fourth Wing, 100%. I'm going to reread it once it gets closer to the third book coming out, which is this January 21st of 2025. So I'm saving it so I don't forget, so I could be like, oh my God. So like you reading it now, I'm like living through you, and I'm like, yes. Let me remember all this amazing stuff because, yes, it's great. Top book of the year for me, top book of my life, Fourth Wing.
Dang.
So the fact that I am your guest for Fourth Week makes me want to cry inside and throw my heart across the room.
I'm so glad you're here for this. Fourth Wing is going to be done in 2 parts. So this is going to be part 1. Part 2 will come out the following Monday, which I believe is the May 20th. And Whitley will be back for that episode as well. And also this episode is going to have spoilers. So if you have not read Fourth Wing and you want to read it, don't listen to this podcast. Wait until you've finished the book. But hopefully you have read along and are ready to dive in. So this part 1 is going to be on chapters 1 through 22, the first half of the book. Part 2 will be chapters 23 through 39. Okay, so those of you who don't know about Fourth Wing, what Fourth Wing is about, I'm going to give you a little synopsis, and then we're just going to dive into the book. Okay.
Yes!
Oh, Whitley is so freaking excited.
I'm like sweating. I'm so happy.
Calm down there, cowgirl. Okay.
Sorry about it.
Fourth Wing explores Violet Sorrengel's journey as she's sent off to Basgiath War College, where she risks her life to become a writer. Not only does she have a syndrome that leaves her joints frail, she was training her whole life to be a scribe. This book takes us on a whirlwind adventure as she faces obstacles to become an elite member of the writer's quadrant. We get to see the friendships tested, romance, blossom, and a whole lot of death. And I'm talking about a lot because I was like, what the? So how did we even get to Fourth Wing? Whitley, do you want to tell the story?
Okay, yeah. So
You
I think it
literally
was around
texted me.
okay, so in Christmas time, so my sister-in-law, Katie, actually, you know, Katie, she shout out to Katie. She read it and she was like, "What are you reading right now? Like, have you read Fourth Wing?" And I'm like, "No, I've seen it, but like I read Dragons," and I'm like, I don't know if I'm about that vibe because I was in my thriller vibe as always. And she was like, "No, you have to get it. You have to read it." And I was like, "All right, fine. Let me finish this book and I'll do it." And God bless, your girl read it. And again, I'm a toddler mom, so I don't have all the time in the world. I read that in a week. And like usually I could have done it in 3 days if I didn't have a child, but you know,
For sure.
life. But I was like, "Oh my God." So I texted literally you, Tay, who else? Everybody. I feel like I was like, who's my reader friends? Like, read this freaking book because I am dying and I need to talk to more people about it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be by myself. I had Katie obviously, but I can't just be in this little bubble. Like, I need to just like throw it off and like, come on, this is amazing. Am I the only one? I can't be.
You're probably not.
So then, no, we were FaceTiming and I was like, "Hold up, what are you reading?" And you're like, whatever you were reading at the time. And I said,
Probably
"Please."
a sport romance.
It's stupid. And so I said, "Please, please go read this." And you're like, "Ooh, it's pretty." And so you bought it like that day or ordered it or something. And I was like, "Oh my God, so excited." But that was January and we're what, May? Come on. It took you so long. I've been pressuring Chelle to start this freaking book. If she tells me one more time, "Gotta read this book for book club," I was gonna punch her in the face. Like, I thought she was gonna bring it to Park City that we went in February. She didn't. And I was like, "What are you doing? Let's go." And here we are. I did it. I succeeded.
You succeeded. And then I remember, okay, so I started the book and I got 3 pages in and Whitley texts me, "Where are you at in the book?" And I'm like, "I read 3 pages." A couple days later, "How many pages have you read?" "I'm still on page 3. Oops.
Literally. And I told her, guys, because you know, any fantasy book, you got to give it the first like 100 pages or so to like learn the world, learn the characters, learn what's all going on, because it's all going to be obviously not normal.
Yeah.
So you got to give it. And I was like, "Can you just get through these pages so we can like, I know you're going to be hooked, but you just need to get through." You've read the first like chapter like 17 times and I could have shot you in the face.
And then I texted you, I don't remember when, and I was like, "Whitley, what WTF am I reading?
Yes.
What am I reading?"
And you said, "Dylan died." And I said, "Dylan? Oh, I forgot about him." Because he died like the first couple of chapters. And he was so cute, this little girlfriend, but he had to go. He was just like not relevant.
Poor thing. And I was like, if I hear the word parapet one more time, I'm going to parapet myself off my balcony because what the heck is going on?
I had to Google what that was, literally, because I had no idea. I was like, what is this parapet? Like, is this a word she made up? And I was like, no, this is legit a word.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let's set the scene because they're like probably like, what the heck is a parapet? So, okay, Violet, her mom is the general. She sends her off to Basgiath War College to become a writer, even though Violet has been training to be a scribe with her father her whole life before he passed away. R.I.P. Dad. And
R.I.P.
So in order to get to the War College, Basgiath, you have to do this. You have to cross the parapet to get over there.
To basically be enrolled, essentially.
To be enrolled.
You either die or you're enrolled.
Yeah. Imagine if we had to do that here. But also, I'm like, I would like a dragon. I would like to be at Basgiath with Zayden.
I mean, no,
Um,
Zayden's mine, like my
no,
shadow daddy.
I'm Violet. Violet is me. Okay. Even though I don't have joint problems. Actually, I do have a couple joint problems, probably from tennis.
I mean, shout out to her though.
Yes.
Do you know why she has those joint problems?
Well, she
Rebecca
has.
Yaros has
Oh.
EDS, and so she kind of did that off of her. Oh, yeah, so she's
okay.
like frail and like weak and short, and she has everything going against her.
But she's
and she didn't
stupid
train,
smart. She's
but
stupid
she's
smart.
and that's what wins in the end, guys.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
gotta be smart.
Yeah. You gotta be smart, but don't have to have good joints. So she's going across this parapet, and she meets a friend, Rhiannon, and this guy Dylan. Rhiannon's going first, and then actually I think Dylan went first, and then Rhiannon, and then Violet. So Dylan's going. It's raining. The wind's blowing. I don't know how thin and skinny this is. I'm thinking it's a rope, but apparently it's not.
Yeah. Well, you at least have to have your 2 feet, like, be able to.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what I think. It's like 2 feet next to each other, and that's it.
Right. Actually, I thought it was like 1 foot in front of the other. Who even knows? I guess we'll
Who
find out
knows?
when the Amazon show comes out. They better
Yes.
not F that up, by the way. I need Rebecca.
Um,
Rebecca better be approving the cast. She better be directing, producing. I don't want anybody. If anybody F's up this show, I swear
I
lose
will.
it.
Let me just say your thoughts on the Colleen Hoover one. The guy they cast
This Is Us.
for This Is Us, the guy they cast. I was so mad.
Well, he's
They
actually
just-
the producer. Actually, I think he's the director or the producer. And I'm like, why do you need to be in your own movie? Like, get
Yeah,
out.
literally, like, what are you doing? That you're not it. I'm sorry, like, you're a great person, maybe. I don't know you, but like, no.
Physically,
Stop
no.
ruining my dreams.
Yeah, physically,
with these characters.
you are not. What was his name? Ryle.
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
that name.
Me too.
What is with these? Well, I can't say that because that's Akatar, but
Okay, yeah, don't ruin
Anyways.
anything for me. Okay, so yeah, they're crossing the parapet. Freaking Dylan it's raining, it's windy. Dylan falls over, he's dead. Rhiannon's going, she makes it over. Violet's going.
But wait, why she makes it over, and this is how we learn like what a great person Violet is, because she has all the odds stacked against her.
Yeah.
And she gives her one of her like
Boots.
shoes, right?
Yeah,
boots.
Her sister gave
That like
her.
the grip. Yeah. And that's the only reason she made it.
Yep.
Both of them made it.
Yes. So shout out to Violet and her friendship. Yeah. So Violet's going across the parapet. Homegirl busts her knee. Thank God she didn't die. I was just like, oh my God, my stomach in knots. I was like,
Well, there would be no bug.
I know. I was like, okay. So Violet makes it over. Then she comes across Zayden, who is her enemy.
Because her mother killed his father during the rebellion, and
Yes.
then he killed
Her brother.
her brother,
Yeah.
Brennan. And so he wants to kill Violet.
Yes.
And
For revenge.
whoa, like, you don't even know me, chill.
Right?
But God bless.
And yeah, so then there's this other character that was behind Violet on the parapet, Jack, who is just running across the parapet like a psychotic freak. And I'm like, okay,
Fuck
how
him.
is he just running and not just running like he does this in his sleep and makes it over? And then he tries killing Violet. And so they have beef. And I'm like, this Jack guy can go.
All
And
I gotta
it's so
say
funny
is
because
fuck
his
Jack
name-
Barlow.
His name's Jack Barlow. And I was like, oh my God, Jack Harlow.
No, but we love Jack
Imagine
Barlow.
if he played that part in the movie
I would
or in the
die.
show. That would be so
No,
funny.
no, because I love Jack Harlow, but I hate Jack Barlow.
Yeah, Jack's got to go. Okay, so we make it past the parapet. We're in Best Guyeth, and they have to do a lot of stuff. Like, I was overwhelmed starting this book because I was like, one, there's a lot of characters. Two, a lot's happening. How am I going to keep track? I literally started a freaking Fourth Wing journal. And then I was like, I don't have time to write all this stuff down. So then I just started sticky noting my book, and now it's hideous, and I'm so upset.
No, it's beautiful. Colors. We love it.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to literally go back and put everything in the journal and take all these stickies out. But so she meets Zayden.
But then she meets who?
Oh, and then Dane, who is her childhood best friend and somebody that she's had a crush on
forever. Because they're just so close.
Yeah. And he is a wing leader. Yeah, so they come across each other and he's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? He keeps trying to get her to go be a scribe. He's like, you're going to die, blah, blah, blah.
Literally stressing her over her way too much that stresses her out even more than she already is. She knows she shouldn't be there. She knows she doesn't want to be there. So shut the fuck up, Dane.
Right. And so now Violet has to watch her back with not only Jack, who's trying to kill her, but also Xaden because he wants revenge. But she's got Rhiannon, who is helping. Rhiannon doesn't really know, but she's got her as a close friend. And then she's got Dane, too, but he's also trying to get her to go to the scribe quadrant, and she's not
every day.
So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So we have the gauntlet, the presentation, the threshing, and then you have the war games at the end, which obviously – they talk about it in the beginning, but you won't get into it until obviously it happens. Right. So many things.
Yeah. So the threshing.
And just to survive and go to college at the same time.
Oh my God. I know. And I was like, oh my God, all these people are freaking dying left and right. I was like,
just another day.
I know.
The death row call though. How what's the word for it? Yeah. Like every day, all right, this person died, knock, knock, knock. Like, okay.
Then, so you get through the parapet, then you start with sparring, and this is when you have to fight another cadet, basically.
Yeah. But it could be a rider, could be a wing leader, could be anybody. Right. You just have to you pick what you. I mean, obviously you're not going to really fight a wing leader because they've already done that, but they will jump in if they need to.
Yes, and so then after sparring is the physical challenge of the gauntlet, right?
Oh, the death obstacle course.
Oh my
God.
Let's be honest. Dude, I was freaking out when she was doing that. I literally was about to cry, I think. I got emotional. I was like, oh my God. And then Amber had to be like, oh my God, that doesn't count. You cheated. Amber, she's another wing leader.
Yes, she's a wing leader, and honestly, fuck her.
But
which we'll get to more why.
Yeah. So then she makes it through that. So then they get to
shockingly.
Yes, thank heaven.
Because she has all the odds against her. Anyways,
literally,
okay, go ahead.
Because she's a short, tiny little thing.
Who's weak?
Yeah, poor Violet. Poor me, because I am Violet.
I guess we love a Violet.
Yes.
Then they have presentation, which is basically all the dragons that are willing to bond line up, and all the humans, I guess, have to walk in a single file line and basically show hey, we are willing to bond and basically not get killed, because you can get killed. The dragons could just deem you not worthy and just fire you away and you're gone forever.
Right, because while they're walking, they have to actually be talking so the dragons can pick up on their personality and things of that nature. Get to
know them.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically make their little mental notes of the people. Are you worth it? No, bye. You're not worth anybody.
Because 2 people in that line did get hit with
that we know
dragon
of.
breath. Yeah. What was his name?
Pryor. He deserved it. It was coming to him. Come on, shut up.
Scaredy freak.
And cocky, get out of our face.
And then what was the other girl?
Luca.
Dude, she was so annoying. I was like, oh, well deserved. Once that on the way back when they
thank God you're out.
Yeah, I was like, okay, see ya, girl. At this point, I'm like, I don't have any remorse for these people. At the beginning, I was like, oh my God, everybody's dying. I'm sad. And then I'm like, oh, well, you kind of deserve
it.
Yep. You kept talking about me? Well,
we're out.
Yeah.
But wait, how did you feel when those 2 green dragons started smelling her and
I was
what were your thoughts?
I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, not 1, but 2.
I mean, they were all up on her, and I'm like, oh no, are they gonna fly away with her? What's the deal? But it was because of her sister. She had the scales.
Yes. So her sister gave her some scales for protection, and
in
it
her
was
vest.
from her dragon, right?
I think
Mira's
so.
dragon. Yeah. And so the other dragons smelled that.
And they were like, wait, okay, what you working with? You got a good one.
And so then Violet makes it through that. the threshing. And what comes after that? Is that when they
That's when that was presentation.
Yeah.
And then next is threshing. So then they go and they have to make it to threshing, which
Yes.
is where they either bond or they don't bond or they die or they live. You just never know.
Yeah, so all the cadets go out into the little world.
Like the valley,
Yeah.
the Dragon's Valley, I think.
Yes. And so all the dragons are flying around. The cadets are wandering around by themselves.
Because you can't be with each other
Yeah.
because you're more likely to die if you're with your friends or like in a
Yes.
group.
And then
stress.
and Jack and Orin and another guy, I can't remember his name, irrelevant. That's how
Irrelevant.
important he was. So Violet overhears Jack, Orin, and the other guy talking about killing someone, and it was actually the Feathertail.
Oh, don't kill a little cutie.
Right, which
Rude.
they saw in the presentation. They saw that Feathertail in presentation, which is like a rare dragon.
Like no one has ever bonded a Feathertail.
Yeah.
Or a Feathertail has never been at presentation or threshing ever.
Right. And so those three guys are talking about finding the Feathertail and killing it. And of course, Violet overhears that and she's like, that's not going to happen. So of course, she chases after the Feathertail to warn it. So
It's
she's
just
doing
like
that.
diddly diddly diddly.
Yeah. And then the three guys show up. And of course, Violet's like, okay, you're not going to kill it. And so Violet has to take on these three guys who are trying to kill her too.
But guess who shows up on the side and can't do anything about it?
Zayden.
With his dragon.
Yeah, because there's so
The
many
gal.
rules.
Too many.
Too many rules, like within the codex, all these things. So
God
Zayden
bless.
is not allowed to help her, and she's got to save herself and this Feathertail. And she actually freaking hits Jack in the shoulder with a blade, and he runs away like a little
pussy.
Wussy. Okay, I said wussy. You said
I said what he really is.
And so then Orin is there and the other guy. I think who killed the other guy? Oh, so okay. We're getting to the good stuff. Okay, we're getting to the good stuff. So basically, Violet saves the Feathertail. She doesn't end Orin's life, but another dragon comes, and it's Taryn. So Zayden is there with his dragon, Sigel, but he can't help Violet out, right?
Mm-hmm. And so Taryn, who is a black dragon, which is very rare, which also has not come to threshing in many years because his rider died and he hasn't gotten over it, and he just can't do it. But he comes because, well, we find out later though, because Sigel basically said, come, like, hey.
Yeah.
This girl might be worthy. And then he like comes, and who does he blast fire away? He kills somebody.
Yeah, he kills someone, and then he told Violet to end Orin, and she was like, no, I can't do that. So of course that loser freak survives. But anyways,
and then he says, get in, bitch, we're going.
Right. And she's like, what?
Hop on.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, you're my dragon. Okay. So then the Feathertail, the black dragon, and Violet, they all go back to wherever they do the roll. So you can tell the person who you're bonded with, what dragon. And so she goes up and she was like, I bonded with Taryn. And he goes, and Adarna.
No, she goes, and Adarna.
Oh, yeah. And her voice is
Adarna
so cute.
So cute. She's sitting there like, don't forget me. Don't forget me. And she's like, wait, what?
Right. And then, so she says, the Feathertail's name too, Adarna. And she was like, 2 dragons? The lady doing the roll. And then everybody's in hysteria. Even her mom is there as well. And so they have a little meeting about it. But in the end, she gets to keep her 2 dragons. So exciting.
Not just one dragon. She bonds 2 dragons. But not just 2 dragons. She bonds 2 rare dragons. One, Taryn, a black dragon, which is rare in general. He is the biggest dragon there is currently. So he's obviously a super catch. And then in Darna, no one's ever bonded a Feathertail before. And so they don't know anything about a Feathertail. And it's like, whoa, hold the phone. Violet got 2 of the rarest of the rare, so she is the baddest bitch that there is. And we
Literally.
love that.
In
I mean, let's go. This girl is ready for greatness. She
And-
already is great. Come on.
Right. So after she makes it through threshing, she has her 2 dragons. Dane is there, her childhood best friend / crush.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, she does have a crush on him. But now we know that she doesn't because Dane is like, oh my God, you made it through threshing. You got bonded. And he kisses
You're
her.
alive.
Yeah. And he kisses her. And she was like waiting for the fireworks. And then she's like, oh shit, I don't feel anything.
Basically, you're a dud weight.
Yeah. And
Thank God. But then she learns that not only did she bond these amazing dragons, but she is now connected to Xaden because Taryn and Sigel are mates. And if they die, if one of them dies,
They all
meaning
die.
they all die. Basically, like if Xaden dies, Violet dies, or
Yeah.
vice versa, whatever. And so it's like she's stuck with the guy who wants to kill her. But who
Mhm.
she's secretly kind of feeling,
Yeah,
kind of.
she's like, oh my God, he's hot, this and that. I'm like,
But he
dude,
wants to kill me, but he's so great.
right. I'm like,
Wait, what?
Xaden can get it.
I mean, he could have gotten
The
a
way
long
that
time ago.
Rebecca talks about Xaden, like portrays him in the book, I'm just like, ooh,
We're about it.
Xaden and Dane.
I mean-
I'm like, oh my God, they both sound so cute. And
I
like,
mean,
but Xaden takes the cake for sure.
they all sound hot other
Yeah.
than Jack. Fuck Jack.
Yeah. Even Liam and Xaden's cousin, I was like, okay,
Garrick, yeah.
take me to Basgiath. I would like a dragon. I want a dragon for Christmas. Mom, if you're listening, I want a dragon. And I'm not talking about a toy. I want a real one.
I can see your
don't-
mom buying you a stuffed animal dragon. I'm dead.
She probably would. I'll take it. I'll put it on my shelf.
It better be black
Right.
or gold.
Oh yeah. But yes, I want to be in Basgiath War College. I honestly
Don't we all?
know. Yeah, you're right.
It's like this generation's Hogwarts, let's be honest. I don't care what you say, it is.
I don't
We're
know
about
anything
it.
about Harry Potter, Whitley, so I cannot
That's
attest
so
to that.
sad. Everybody,
It's
all the
not my
listeners
vibe.
can. Well, you thought this wasn't your vibe?
And look at me. I want a dragon now.
So now you gotta go to Harry Potter World.
No. Okay, yeah. So Xaden's dragon and Violet's dragon, their dragons are a strong bond.
Mated.
They're mates, whatever. So then Violet, now that she has these 2 dragons and she is a rider, she's no longer a cadet, but there are people still at the college that are cadets because they didn't bond with a dragon. So anybody who's a rider basically has a target on their back, but Violet has the biggest target on her back because 1, she's got 2 dragons, and 2, she's got one of the rarest, most powerful dragons, biggest dragon. So
everybody wants it.
So everybody
Him.
wants it. Yeah. And also her mom is the general. So she's a Sorn.
So they hate her.
So everybody hates her. So Violet gets ambushed in her sleep.
Which is against the law.
Yeah. You are
You
not.
cannot ambush anybody when they are sleeping. And
Yes.
yet people try it.
7.
Little do they know.
7 of them.
Little do they know that she's got 2 dragons, guys.
Right. And guess what? The dragons, and when you're bonded with a dragon, they can hear your thoughts. You can hear their thoughts. Like, you guys just like talk to each other. I need
have
a
that
dragon.
connection.
I want a
And
dragon.
I know. Don't we? No, truly. Why are they not flying right now?
Seriously,
like, I'm
that
sad.
would be so wild. Imagine if we lived in a world where we had dragons.
But
and we
so
just,
scary at
like,
the same
rode
time.
around on them.
You
That
could just
would
be like, yeah, but then you could just like die from a dragon.
right. I'd be like, take me to Whole Foods, and then also blow that person.
Fuck 'em.
Blow that guy. He just he messed with my head. Blow him.
Blow him, fire him.
Yes.
Blow him sounds so raunchy.
Oh, well, no, I mean, fire away at him. I don't know.
Burn that
him,
bitch.
Burn him. Yeah. Burn him down. So, yeah, she gets ambushed in her sleep. And of course, one of those people is Oren. He's got the blade to her neck. She's
On the
done.
verge.
And then time just stops. And Darna
Stops
stops
it.
time. And wow.
Basically saves her from, she gives her time
Yeah.
and Zayden's time
Yeah.
to come and save her.
Yes, because Zayden does come and save her. And basically
Thank God.
murks
Shadow
everybody.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Shadow Daddy, let's go. Hit me up with those shadows, but in the best way.
Shadow Daddy.
We love a Shadow Daddy.
Yes. If my
Dark and
future
brooding.
husband doesn't have a shadow, don't want him. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, but honestly, thank God Jesse's like tan and has dark hair.
Yeah, he does. So Zayden comes, saves her, kills everybody that's in the room, and
Almost. Oh yeah, because Amber's little
Yeah,
bitch ass.
Amber, a wing leader, she was there, but she ran away. Probably because I don't even know why.
She gave them access to her room
Oh, yeah.
basically because it was only for writers that they could get in, and
Right.
she was the one that gave them access. That little bitch.
Yes.
Remember, Zayden takes her down to like talk to Sigel, Taryn,
yeah.
and Indarna, and basically say what was that, and basically explains that all Feathertails like have this power, but they're adolescents and they don't give them to writers because essentially writers can just take it all from them and like essentially kill them or drain them of their power,
Right.
which is why they've never bonded to anybody.
Mhm.
But obviously, we all know Violet's special. And she is given that power because she won't take advantage of our little Adarna because Violet's great and Adarna's cute.
Yeah,
Right?
and so Violet has to they all have to keep that secret about Adarna's powers because until she reaches adulthood because
Yeah.
they
'Cause-
don't want anybody to kill her. They don't want anybody to know. And because her
Or
using that
capture
power,
her, yeah.
her using that power drained her.
Mhm.
Poor Andarna. I love her.
She's so great.
And so
She only gets better.
ever since Violet got attacked, she needed to have added protection. So Zayden asked Liam to be like her bodyguard, which is he's a writer.
We love Liam. Yeah, we love Liam.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'll take Liam too. And that basically happens. And then there's this whole meeting and
So they do the death roll call.
Yeah, they do the death roll call. And these are cadets that have died or even writers that have died.
Anyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone that's died in the days. Like they do that every time. And I'm just like,
R.I.P.
oh my God. Like they
What are we
started
doing?
out, what did they say? She said they started out with like 107, and now they're like down to 40 something. I can't even remember.
Yes.
But I was like, oh my God, hella people are
Just
dead.
Just snapped and
I know,
gone.
I'm
No,
like-
no worries.
I'm like, make me a scribe. Make me a scribe. Because, no thank
Bless.
you. I'm not trying to fall off a dragon and bleep. Gone.
Splat.
Yeah.
But then
So-
that's when he tells on that bitch Amber.
Yep. And she gets, well, her dragon's there too.
Mm-hmm.
And
And guess who burns her ass?
Taryn.
Yes.
And her
Well deserved.
her dragon is distraught. It was kind of sad.
It is sad.
I felt bad for the dragon, not for Amber.
Just for the
because-
dragon. Yeah.
But
Always the
even-
dragons because
but
like
even
it's not their fault.
Yeah, but even Violet tried to save her. They were like, "Oh, don't do it. Don't kill her." Like Violet
Yes.
has the heart of gold,
Like, what are you doing, girl? You gotta say no to some people.
right? But also
Thank God.
they still
Amber's
went
gone.
through it. Yeah, Amber, R.I.P. Amber.
God bless. But not really. Fuck
And-
Amber.
So what happens after that? Oh,
This is when like people are getting their powers, like their signets. So this is when they're learning they have their powers or like kind of getting it, and then they get their signets. You kind of learn about the different signets, like intrinsic. You say it better than I do.
intrinsic.
Intrinsic people. That's a death sentence. Like that guy that the professor just snaps his neck.
Oh
and he's
yeah, this one guy, he was able to read people's thoughts, what they were thinking, and he was saying that out loud. So he was like saying he was reading Dane's thoughts,
yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, talking about I don't know why he kissed her. I hope she's not mad at me." Some stuff, and it was
Embarrassing.
wild. But he kept going, and then the professor just comes out and snaps his neck, and I was like, "Oh, another dead."
God, just bye.
Yeah.
Literally. But then remember, and then we move on, and you got to talk about when Violet gets her power, not her signet, but her powers from Taryn
Okay, we're going to wrap it up talking about the ending of the book,
of this part.
of this chapters 1 through 22. So,
Yes.
how about you wrap it up for us?
Okay.
And then I'll
fine.
tell you my thoughts.
Because this is such a great part.
Yeah, it is.
So this is when Violet, it's like at night, right? Kind of evening,
Mhm.
whatever. She gets her powers from Taryn, and they come in full force because not only did she get his powers, but he is doing the deed with Sigel, his mate. And so she's feeling all the lust, all the things that she shouldn't be feeling from a dragon. And so she needs to get out. So she walks out in the hallway. She sees Liam and she's like, "Ooh, Liam, hey." Like,
And
wait, but I don't like you like that, but like you're looking good.
and she's like, "What am I doing?" And he was like, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
And she's like, "I gotta get out of here
Yeah.
before I do something I regret." So then she like goes out of the castle or the college and like down to the grounds where she's really not supposed to be. And guess who she finds? Our
Zayden,
Shadow Daddy himself. He's smoking his herb, trying to keep the edge off because he
He's
is
feeling
also
it too.
feeling the feelings because his dragon is right in there with him. And then they get in this little heated, the lust takes over, this
Yeah.
makeout sesh.
Woo, they're about to do it in the snow. I was like,
Finally.
I'm here about it. I'm here for it. I'm like, do it in the
We've been
snow.
waiting.
I know. I was
And-
like, oh my God, all this built up tension. I don't even care if it's not how they're really feeling right now. It's their dragons. But then,
They deserve each other.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, yes, Zayden. I was like, rooting. I was like, he's about to do her in the snow. He's touching her hair,
Ugh.
moving it and grabbing her neck. And I was like, and then he stops it.
He pushes her away. Like, why? Like, give us what we want. Give us what we really want, Zayden.
Seriously. I was
But
like,
he
why would you
thinks
do
that-
to me?
And he thinks that it's not Violet, that it's Taryn and Sigel's feelings, that he's like,
Little does
this
he
isn't
know.
really your feelings. Little does he know. It's
Because-
both of their feelings.
yeah,
Just a
'cause-
little heightened.
Seriously, I'm like thinking about
But-
all the little quotes that she has said about Zayden in the book. Like, oh my God, he's so hot. And when they were when Zayden and his cousin were sparring in the gym with their shirts off, and
Oh, please.
the
what
world
a
just
scene.
stops. I know.
What a scene. But also, how great of him also to like teach her in that moment how to block out those feelings. Like
Right.
their bond, like blocking that, because that's a huge step. And she, of course, being the badass that she is, does it so well.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ooh, wait, you
You're
are a good
at
you
this.
are a badass."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I
So-
don't want to kill you.
I know. I cannot wait to finish the book because it's getting so good. I'm hooked.
Oh, thank God we're here. I told you, had to get through it. We're here. We're in it. And now you're going to finish. And the part 2 of where you're at is like, holy shit, what just happened? Oh my God. But the tension and the love and the sadness and the
Oh,
you're
God.
not ready for it. And I'm so here for you to live it and text me. I can't wait.
Wait.
And for our part 2.
I
because
know. Part 2.
This was great, but like part 2 is about to be lit.
Oh, I'm going to have my notebook ready. I'm going to come
And-
with the receipts this time.
And you better already have Iron Flame because you're gonna finish this and be like, excuse me, why can I not start this now?
Well, I need to get the Iron Flame that you have because when I went last night at Target, they didn't have that one. And I was like, ew, I don't want the
Facebook
regular one.
Marketplace. Actually, Thrift Books. That was Thrift Books.
Yes. So right now, I'm super excited to continue reading. I just want to thank you for getting me into
Pushing
this
you
new
along.
this new era of fantasy romance. But don't worry, listeners, I'm still a romance and thriller girl at heart, and I will be sprinkling, well, not even sprinkling that. This podcast is dedicated to thriller and romance, but
To
I'm gonna-
books.
Yeah, to books in general. I will be sprinkling a little fantasy romance in because that's the era I'm in right now, but I'm also reading a romance, the Chestnut Hills series by Elsie Silver. Love it.
Ooh.
I want a cowboy and a dragon. Okay.
Oh,
That's on
bless.
my wish list for 2024.
A cowboy with a dragon. Let's go.
Yes, but oh my God, this has been so much fun. I hope you guys
So fun.
enjoyed part
Wait,
1 of Fourth
Before
Wing.
we leave, tell us your first impressions or like your impression of this book so far.
I was like, WTF am I reading? I couldn't make it past page 3 for a second. And then I got in and I was like, oh my God. Dane or Zayden, Zayden or Dane. I want a dragon. Take me to Basgiath.
Why haven't I been on this train sooner?
What took me so long? When is the show coming out? I can't wait to finish this book. I'm scared to read Iron Flame. I have all the thoughts.
Iron Flame. Okay, so as you know, Fourth Wing is my top book of all time, top book of the year. Iron Flame is obviously amazing, but it's just sad. It's not sad. It's just like it literally ends. They both end on cliffhangers. I'm just going to tell you that now, so be prepared.
Thanks.
But it ends and you're just like jaw dropped. What the fuck just happened?
Shoot.
Like, what do I think? Oh my God, all the theories are out there, and we can talk about that.
Okay,
next,
I can't wait.
but
Oh, that's going to be
later.
so much fun.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up because I need to go finish reading so we can
about it.
actually record part 2. And then, I just am like so intrigued and I need to see what's going to happen.
Okay, but before we go, one question for you, because obviously where you're at now, Violet hasn't had her signet surface yet, right?
Yeah.
What do you think her signet is? Or yeah, because like I'm not going to tell you yes or no, but like what are your predictions?
Well, I think she's going to be able to become invisible.
Or I'm just going to say no.
Okay. Not invisible.
Just remember she's a badass, so she needs like a badass signet, so it's got to be something big.
What if her eyes become laser beams? I don't know.
It's a rare one, but that's not it.
What powers does Wonder Woman have? I'm trying to think. Like
Everything. Wonder Woman's like strong and like can do anything.
does she become stronger? Well, you can't tell me. Don't tell me. Well, I'm already on the wrong track. So she's not becoming invisible and she doesn't have
You'll
light
soon
beams
find
coming
out.
Okay. I'm going to find out. Okay. We'll leave it at that. But thanks for being on the pod, Whitley. It was
Thanks
fun
for
to
having
have
me.
You. Yes. We'll be back May 20th for part 2 of Fourth Wing. Remember,
Today is booked.
and tomorrow isn't looking good either.